All right. We are live. I believe we are. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Y'all know I always double check. I look at the link on my phone to make sure it is streaming. Because sometimes the communication with stream software and YouTube doesn't always go together. Looks like we on, though. So we're going to go ahead and get started, man. I'll tell you guys the story in a moment. But needless to say, obviously things are going on. If you're seeing me on Wednesday night, even though it's called Terrible Towel Tuesday. But I'll give you guys the information on that and let you know. I'm going to stick to the hour tonight, man, because I am swamped at work. Some of you guys would know how that feels. I'm done now, but I literally just got done working probably at 7:45. And yeah, I don't need time to just sit back and chill. But talking about the Steelers will definitely get me back where I need to be. But real quick, man, let's jump right into saying the hellos to the early viewers. What's up to? Is it Nee or Nay Drews? Drama Sidell, Slide Red, Rajon 39, In the Green TV. Who else we got in here? Vista Light. Who's that? CM Relly, Paul Bullock, Banor Johnson. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce this next one. Let me see. What is it? Oh, Dr. Trey, Donovan Hubbard, Daredevil, Jordan Mid, Steve Williams, Y Diggy. I was about to say what's up to Kenyon, and obviously y'all see Kenyon on the screen. Rocky and Stillmatic, and we'll leave it right there. I will make another announcement. Oh, see Antoine Ill. We'll make another announcement when I see some of the ladies in the chat come through. I'll let you guys know again that they will be on next week, so that's going to be interesting. So far, we have 4 of them. If I have my math correct, yep, it is 4. It is, who hit me up? Lanisha, Debbie, Odessa. No, Lanisha, Debbie, Sade, I believe, and Destiny, if I'm not mistaken. And I think Odessa did mention in the chat that she wanted to be a part of it. So, matter of fact, hold on, y'all. While I give you guys some time to get in here, let me look at my email again because I could have those names wrong. I know for sure Destiny, Lanisha, and Debbie. Well, who's the 4th one? It's either Odessa or Sade. Sade, that's who it is. Yep, there she is. So there you have it. Antoine Hill also, and I'll say this later, and I meant to hit you back as well, Antoine, but he also mentioned that he knows a lovely lady who likes to talk, Steeler talk as well. So, you know, he asked if I could put her down. I'll share that email address with the ladies. Her name is DeAndrea. She's AKA D. So I will definitely share that email address with you guys tonight. And if y'all want to, you know, hook up with her, listen, the more the merrier. But anyway, man, we're going to jump right into it. I'm literally going to set an hour timer, because I can't do more than that. Work is kicking my butt. But me and Kenyon got a lot to talk about. Just a couple things that we'll get into, and we're going to jump right into it. Steelers re-signing certain players. One of those would be Josh Dobbs. The next one would be Vince Williams. We'll talk about Mel Kiper and what he's expecting as far as the Steelers to do in first and second round. Talk a little bit about Jadeveon Clowney going to the Browns. And we'll also talk about outside linebacker, mainly edge rusher, being possibly more of a need now with Vince Williams back. And that's just to name a couple things. But I'm sure me and Kenyon will get through this in that 60-minute time frame. And you guys are going to hear me do it live right here on air. Hey, Siri, set a timer for 60 minutes.
Okay. Your timer is set for 1 hour.
There it is. All right, Kenyon. Let's do it, man. Still table time. Oh, first, wait. The reason why, excuse me, we are doing this still table is I've already said it to him, but Kenyon and I both are sharing our birthdays. Kenyon's birthday was yesterday, the 13th. So happy belated birthday, even though I did hit you up yesterday.
Yes.
But that was the reason why Steel Table was going to be special if we could have did it yesterday. And let me give you all that little bit of history. Just had some really crazy technical difficulties yesterday, man. My computer was tripping. I thought it was the hard drive. I thought it was the RAM. I don't know what it was, but I finally got it to work. And so far, it's back in order. But then also tonight, the reason why we're starting super late is super long day at work, man. Even though I work from home, I didn't get finished until about 7:45. So long story short, that's why we're here. But I definitely want to mention Kenya's birthday. My birthday is tomorrow. We're both Aries. So special still table tonight. There you go. But man, where you want to start, brother? I'll let you kick it off. What's the first thing to talk about here?
Well, I guess we should talk about the re-signings of Vince and Josh Dobbs.
Yeah.
Clearly, it's what we're seeing is the Steelers are bargain signing people for depth, and you can include Abdullah, who we got from who was on the Bears, defensive lineman, versatile.
I forgot about him.
So clearly they're kind of signing people for depth, and I really don't think they're done. I think they may add somebody else. As we said, Avery Williamson has hinted he may come back. That's a possibility. So whatever draft ideas people may have had in their brain, I think it's clearly you can see what the Steelers are doing of what they're really going to target with their 8 picks in this upcoming draft. I'm just narrowing down my list. I have my list of what I think they may do, like probably draft night, draft week, or whatever, because I got 2 weeks. And me and Sam have been watching people, so we kind of, narrowing down the list. But the idea of a quarterback now, unless somebody falls, I'm not even thinking about it anymore. The possibility of an inside linebacker dwindling, running back, O-line, tight end. We got to talk about tight ends that we both saw that we think would fit perfectly for us. But that's it. I mean, how do you feel about the re-signings and everything? I mean, me and you talked about how do you feel about the re-signings of Vince Williams and Josh Dobbs overall?
Man. Josh Dobbs, I kind of feel like it's probably just, let me say it like this without being disrespectful. It's not a future type of thing. I know most of us should know that. I know some of you guys in the chat, y'all really champion Josh Dobbs. And, I don't dislike him. But if we talking about the Steelers being on their last leg at quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger probably being his last season, Steelers need to look for a franchise guy. Most people would say Mason Rudolph isn't it. Well, let me give you another little secret. Neither is Josh Dobbs. So I look at it like it's a push to maybe, give Dwayne Haskins some competition, and why not let those dudes battle it out and see what happens. But that's all it is. So I don't know if I could say I feel bad about it, but we've been saying that they wasn't going to draft a quarterback. We didn't think they would. Now, again, the right guys there, then Josh Dobbs and even a lesser degree, Haskins, one of those dudes could easily be let go because, we all know with Haskins' contract, there's no penalty or nothing. There's no guarantee. Boom. But I think it's more so what Kenyon just said. I don't think we're going to be seeing a quarterback. Nah, don't see it. So Vince Williams, though, Kenyon, man, that one is a little interesting.
Yeah.
Because we've all gotten ourselves a little excited about the fact that, oh, man, what if the Steelers bypass on a running back or they go offensive tackle later and Zaven Collins or somebody like that? I'm not saying it won't happen because I look at Vince Williams, too, as still a depth piece because one thing we have to remember, that man UG3 is not promised a position. Vince Williams could easily still be on the roster. Let's just look at the 3, Bush, Williams, Spillane. He could easily be on the roster and we still draft an inside linebacker. So that one is a little more interesting, but I do think it allows us to not have to force it. It allows them to go can't believe I'm saying this, but it actually sounds like it gives the Steelers the opportunity to actually go need in the first round. As far as the big ticket guys, running back, offensive line, maybe tight end if the right guy is there. But I don't know, Kenyon. I kind of feel like it, even though Vince is not going to stop us from drafting an inside linebacker, I think it could take us out of the first round unless, that dynamic athlete is there. But yeah, I don't feel bad about it. I think, we know what Vince does well. He's a good, he can defend as far as run defense. And then, we all were surprised seeing that Spillane could cover a little bit. So, but then if Avery Williamson come back, now, then I would feel a little less confident that the Steelers could still possibly go inside linebacker. But
that's the domino that has to fall for me before I rule out inside linebacker. If I agree with you, look at 24, if whoever's on their board at the top of their board, and if Zaven Collins is ahead of Najee Harris and they don't need to draft Najee Harris in their mind, or Najee Harris is gone, or Travis Etienne is gone and they don't want to target running back and they want to get best value, and Zaven is there, and he's sitting there at 24, I don't know how they pass that up. Because basically what he does is he does what Vince and Spillane do in one person. And that's different. And he's such a freak athlete, I don't think you could pass somebody up like that. So Zaven Collins or the new guy, or the new person who I will put in that class would be Jamin Davis out of Kentucky. If those two dudes are there and the value is there, yeah, they'll pull that trigger, because they don't shy away from competition. They'll make that deal in a second. So, and that would just put Vince in a situation where he's on the roster, but does he make it out of camp if you draft somebody like that? You know what I mean? So, if it's Zaven is there, Jamin Davis, I think Nick Bolton will kind of drop to the second round. One thing people have to realize, that a lot of players are going to drop because of the trades that have happened so far and the trades that are going to happen on draft day. So certain players will be pushed down. This puts cornerback into play. There are injury concerns about Farley out of Virginia Tech. If he drops, can Pittsburgh pass him up? If he drops to 24, I don't know if you pass that up. So, and as much as I like Eric Stokes, if Fairley is there, I'm taking Fairley. And I want Stokes, but if Fairley is there, I'm taking Fairley. Because I think you can get Stokes in the second round at 55 if you so inclined to make that decision for value. But I agree with you. I think it's just have to keep that in mind about certain players that may drop. And Vince, to me right now, he's a veteran leader that they need in the locker room. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, man. Interesting comment. Somebody just said, they said Jamie Davis. I don't know if that's the same guy. Or is it two? Got you. So he said he's a bigger UG3. He timed fast, but he's slow. So you guys saying that he plays slow? Because I haven't had a chance to watch him yet. But what's your assessment on him as far as how we would use him?
No, he doesn't play. He doesn't play slow. He's kind of all over the field. He was on Kentucky. If you watch the games, he's always all over the field. He can cover. He ran a 4.3, 4.37. To play at 4.37, that's
Wait. 4.3?
Yeah, he ran a 4.37 at his pro day.
Oh boy.
Okay. But he doesn't play. He plays. I mean, they're looking at like if you run a 4.3, you play a 4.3. That's not necessarily what happens. If you run a 4.3, you may play a 4.5, at 4.4. It's rare that you see somebody that run what they run on a 40 and they play that way. That's a rarity. Folks, always remember that it's a rarity to see guys do that. Shazier ran a 4. He ran a 4.31 at his second pro day. Now, Shazier looked like he ran a 4.3, but there were plays where you watch him in the game, he didn't look like he was running a 4.3. Like you would say, nah, if he's so fast, he should be able to catch him. So it's you have to look at it, playing speed and timing. Timing is nice, and that's good for the clock, but it's not the end-all, be-all. But Jamin Davis, look, The kid is great in coverage. He has multiple interceptions. All you gotta do is look at the games. He has multiple. Similar to Zaven Collins, they both can cover. And Jamin Davis is on a Kentucky team that wasn't really good, so you have to factor that in. So, but from what I saw 2 games on him, and I like what I saw, and that's all I can say. I got to watch it one more time, and maybe I'll get a better view on it. But the 2 games I saw, I liked them.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a look at him, man, because just looking at Rocky's assessment here, I just want to give my own opinion. He said he plays slow. He was caught by teammates on an interception. But I mean, if the dude timed at 4.3, I don't know. I'm gonna have to see it. Like, I'm not knocking his assessment. I'm gonna have to see what he's saying. So good to know. So you guys have heard what Kenyon had to say, which a lot of times we all know Kenyon is fine tooth comb when it comes to these players. And we'll compare it to what Rocky's saying. Rocky says he feels like he plays slow. So you guys watch him, I'll watch him and see what kind of assessment we have from there. Let me see. Where do we want to go next, man? I feel like we rolling through this. What is the next thing to talk about? How about I saw somebody say this earlier. Is there any chance that Dwayne Haskins beats out Mason Rudolph and becomes the number 2 quarterback this season? Because somebody said, I know everybody is saying Dobbs is back and we'll see what happened with them, but what if Haskins beats out Mason Rudolph? Do you think there's any chance of that happening?
And there's a shot if he. I guess if he gets in the books, but my theory on Dwayne Haskins is I'm not expecting anything. No. I use this analogy. Sim and I were texting about Coming to America 2. I was frustrated. Sim knew it. Sim said, well, I didn't go into it expecting anything. So for me, I enjoyed the movie. That's what he says. I'm saying, no, I didn't enjoy it. I'll never watch that again. I have deleted that movie from my brain. I will never watch it again.
Yeah, it won't that good.
so it's the same that I feel about Dwayne Haskins. I'm not expecting anything. And really, actually, them signing Josh Dobbs even makes me even more like, oh yeah, he's okay. So now to me, he's 4th if we're going just depth chart. So I look at it like, look, Mason Rudolph, for whatever people think, he's not a franchise quarterback, but he is a serviceable quarterback. And the one thing you have to realize that he did play well last year in the game that he played. And, to put that pressure on somebody because you're coming after Ben, it's unrealistic. So I try not to put pressure on kids like that. And, it's funny because next year at this time, during the draft, we may be talking about quarterback a lot. And it's going to be interesting to see how people feel about Mason next year. Because if you made up your mind, which is fine, that's cool. But, I don't get caught up in the what Mason does. He's not a starter. I don't expect him to start. So for me, I don't have the same – I'm not going to bash him because he's not a starter. I don't look at him like, oh, well, I'm waiting for him to take over Ben's spot. He's not. So I don't know if Dwayne Haskins is going to beat Josh Dobbs up. But look, Haskins had talent coming out of Ohio State, but you guys know how I feel about the Ohio State quarterbacks. Now, Justin Fields may prove me wrong, and I'll be happy. But that would be one player out of 6. So the way I look at it is like 1 for 6. Every university has one great quarterback that's come out, I think, at least. Everybody Alabama's only had 2, and they've had multiple Heisman winners. So, we'll see. That's the best way I can look at it. We'll see.
Yeah, it's an interesting predicament, man, because if we really want to look at it, the Steelers didn't take the Packers approach and draft, Aaron Rodgers to sit behind Brett Favre a few years. We didn't take even though he didn't end up staying there, we didn't take the Garoppolo approach. And okay, this is a guy that we think We didn't do that. Or Packers just did it again with Love. The Steelers is just hanging on, and we're going to end up being in a situation next year where we trying to get a quarterback or, Haskins or Mason Rudolph, one of these dudes going to be a stopgap. And that's pretty much the situation we in. What if Ben gets hurt again this year? Anything's possible, man. And it's a little worrisome in that regard because we could be in a rotation again where the Steelers are just trying to find a franchise guy. So I get it. But like Kenya said, man, there's no reason. Me personally, we can all critique our players, but I don't bash them dudes and wish them bad. And I mean, they on the team. I can only hope that, man, we took a quick chance on Dwayne Haskins. What if he turned out to be half decent? Good job.
Right.
But if he didn't really cost us nothing. So it's like, no big deal, man. We got quite a few needs though, man. Let me see who else we want to hit before we get into the draft stuff. James Conner signs a 1-year deal with the Cardinals for the money that he actually signed for. Steelers could have kept him. So what that tells me, I kind of feel like the Steelers, they were ready to move on. I think we all knew that. It was no surprise, but it's very interesting when you see the type of money some of these guys get. Pittsburgh could have paid that.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that might be them tipping their hand a little bit, letting us know that they're going to go for a running back. I think it's clear as day. Clear as day.
You think that signing was it the signing, or was it the fact they went to the Alabama Pro Day and they went to the Ohio State Pro Day and they went to the Clemson Pro Day? Which one was it that made you realize? Because to me, when the season ended, I was like, oh, Conner's not going back. I don't know. There's no scenario where I see James Conner going back. So
yeah,
this is not happening. So
and then with Najee, Najee, he corrected us. He corrected us all a week ago. Najee already said that his meeting with the Steelers, he felt like it was his best one. It's lining up. Now, is he going to fall to? I don't know. It's very possible that somebody else jumps up. Boom, they take the running back. But I kind of feel like, man, well, we'll talk a little more about the draft, but I do kind of feel like it might go the same way that my man Mel Kiper is mocking it. And Kenyon, like Kenyon said, Mel a lot of times is wrong when it comes to the Steelers, but he has the Steelers in the first round taking Najee Harris and then Dylan Raduns, the tackle later on. That's a real possibility, in my opinion. I think that could very well happen. Or it could do the reverse. Because I do think Trey Sermon is in the play. It all depends on that first pick is going to tell us a lot, man. Like, and it might be even if they go, let's say they don't even go offensive line or running back. Say they surprise us and go corner. I still think that Trey Sermon would be in played in because I think in the second round you follow up with the offensive tackle. Then you go get your running back. If you go corner or somewhere in the first round, it just kind of makes sense.
I think Trey Sermon's in play if you do what you just said. If they don't take a running back round one, to me, Trey Sermon becomes the logical pick. Third round. You feel what I'm saying? Like, but if they go running back, I think there's two that they love, which would be Najee and Travis Etienne. Who, remember, he was gushing about the Steelers. And I think they just love those. Remember, Mike Tomlin and Colbert, they love Power 5 blue blood program guys. That's what they covet. So in the first round, at least. Now, later on, they start messing with the MAC and, they start doing all that stuff. But Mel Kiper, that scenario with Mel Kiper, I actually believe he's kind of on point with that one. And that's a rare thing to say because he normally doesn't do that. So I agree with you on that. I've got to watch a little bit more tape on Raduns because he didn't play last year. So I have to go back and watch, the 2019 tape on him. But I saw one game from him, but I'll be honest, I didn't focus on him. I was focusing kind of on somebody else. So, but I will do that with him. But I agree with you. I think it's, that's a really interesting scenario. And like me and Sam told you, look, we like Najee Harris. We like Travis Etienne.
Yeah.
We just don't have him above Javonte Williams, but it's just looking like the Steelers, from all accounts, may not go there. But here's the thing, as I told Sam to have faith. The fact that they show lack of interest doesn't really mean nothing to me, because they might be pulling the fast one on everybody and just say, okay, let's not act like we like him and then snatch him up. You know what I mean? So I agree with that assessment. I think it's going to be interesting. And like you said, we'll talk more about this as the draft gets closer, but yeah, I agree with that.
It's going to be interesting, man. And just to recap from last week, if you believe in, history, they always say that Tomlin and Colbert are usually, one of them is at the pro day of the first round pick, if not both. Right. And in that case, this year, you narrow it down to Clemson, Georgia, Auburn, Florida State, Alabama, Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State, and Notre Dame. So then you can the way I'm looking at it is as I look at the first round candidates in terms of position. JOK, we already know, if he's sitting around, boom, that's an easy one. Right. But then Ecklenberg, what's his name? Liam Eckenberg.
Yeah, Liam Eckenberg.
That's another guy if he's there. Penn State wise, I don't know. Is Freiermuth a first round guy? I don't know. You don't expect Parsons to still be there.
Nah.
Florida State is interesting though. I'm gonna be honest, and I mean, guys, y'all know I'm a Noles fan. Is Asante Samuel Jr., is he a first round corner?
No.
I don't think so either.
He's not a first round corner.
And there's some other pieces, on the team, but I don't know if the other guys, I don't know if they're first rounders for the Steelers. So right. You kind of look at that team and I don't know. Auburn, I will admit, I haven't watched a lot of Auburn. So I still need to do that. I haven't really looked at anybody on that team. Mm-hmm. Georgia.
There you go.
Man.
Let's get into that. Let's get into Georgia.
First dude I'll start with, man, and I said this to Kenyon, and I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from, because he did. I really like Stokes, man. Not only is he – see, this is what scared me with him being fast. I was like, let me see how he plays, because a lot of times, sometimes when you get the fast corner, they might not have technique, or they might not have ball skill, or they might be the type of dude who's trying to jump everything because they know if they get it in their hands, they out. Man, I watched 4 games on him. Don't kill me for this comparison, guys, because it's not a direct comparison. It's just character traits or something that I see them do that reminds me of somebody else. This dude is always in the hip pocket. And it ain't just his speed. It's his technique seems to be there. Like he's in phase quite often. Seems to turn and looks for the ball. Even when the times that I've seen him kind of face guard, he did it in a way to where it wasn't going to be interference. Going to have to watch that in the NFL though, because NFL, their receivers are savvy. They know just play through him, boom, you get the call. But I told Kenyon the way I seen him, like how tight he is on people, it reminds me of Darrelle Revis. Not necessarily play style, but you guys know what I'm talking about if you watch the games. Revis was always, he seemed like it would be no space. I mean, he's on somebody like this. And man, I'm seeing that from Stokes. He got anticipation. I've seen him pull off a coverage and get an interception. Off of his man he looks good, man. So I see talent along with speed, and maybe he could be a sneaky first round pick. I don't know. Now I know Steelers don't traditionally pick corners well. We know that, but we know about Farley. We know about J.C. Horn. I mean, you know about Stokes. There's probably a couple other guys that I'm missing. I mean, would you be upset? You know what I'm saying? Would you, if the Steelers were to pick one of those guys at 24, could you call it a bad pick just off of what we think the talent would be? You never know who's going to be who. We all know that. You never know. But off of the projections, I don't think it's a reach with any one of those guys at 24.
Yeah. I mean,
it's tricky though.
The top three cornerbacks that in this draft before 24, you would say.
Certain.
Yeah,
Why do I keep forgetting him?
Yeah, Certain. Certain, JC, and Fairley. All those three. So those three players they've kind of separated themselves from the other cornerbacks. Greg Newsome, you could throw in there. Here's the thing about Greg Newsome. Greg Newsome is a zone corner, and Pittsburgh doesn't run zone that much. They primarily run man, and I don't know if they will. Back in the day, Greg Newsome perfect for Pittsburgh, but right now they like man corners, and I don't think Greg Newsome is a man corner. Matter of fact, he's not, because Northwestern plays zone. So that transition, I don't know if you do that. I think they like Pierre. I think people keep forgetting that they like Pierre.
That's right.
So their ability to draft a cornerback will really, probably have to be a guy that they know will replace Joe Hayden next year, a stud, or somebody like that, or a slot, because they're probably going to want to replace Mike Hilton. And Asante Samuel Jr. is a good, right there. He's a good cornerback. But would I draft him at 24? No, because I know I got other needs. There's no scenario where I would draft Asante Samuel at 24 to play slot for the Pittsburgh Steelers as a slot corner. That's your third corner. Everybody remember that. That's the third corner. You're going to draft a third corner at 24 to play for you when you have a big hole at running back, a big hole at tight end. It's a big hole at tight end, a big hole at left tackle or right tackle or guard or wherever you want to look at it, or center.
Bruh, do we have a left tackle right now?
I mean, right now it's my boy from USC. That's your left tackle right now. You know what I'm saying?
And we ain't never seen him play left tackle.
Now, I've seen Zach Brandon
play
in college, at USC, but this is not USC. So look, I like Zach Banner, and I know Mike Tomlin promised him the job, but I'm like, no, you draft somebody else to have competition and depth. So do you do that? And as far as centers go, we haven't neglected the center, but there's no center I'm taking at 24. You get a center in the second round, and actually, you can get a center in the third round. And to have a real conversation, the two dudes who I really like, and me and Sim already had this conversation, is Wyatt Davis.
Yeah.
Both those
they side by side.
They side by side. Give me one of those dudes, and I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Because those dudes they were mauling people in the game.
Man.
Mauling them. And to me, that's what you do. You get depth at offensive linemen any way you can get it. So there are multiple offensive linemen. And when I come out with a list like close to the draft, they will be on that list. I'll mention them again to remind you, refresh your memory. But if you want to watch two offensive linemen that look like Steelers and you want them to play like Steelers, watch Ohio State play. All you gotta do is watch one game. Watch the Clemson game. They literally were mauling people down the field. It was actually funny. It became laughable. So to me, it's like, I look at it like, I like Asante Samuel, but I don't look at players and say, just because I like them, I'm going to put them up higher than what I actually would need for what our team would actually need. And I'm saying that, as Sim said, if it's a need pick at 24 for value, there's no scenario you're going to tell me that Asante Samuel is one of the 24 best players in the top 24 of this draft. There's no scenario you can tell me that. There are at least 40 players ahead of him, at least. So slot corner is tricky. I don't know if I could draft a slot corner in the first round with Cam Sutton, Pierre, and Cam Sutton is really going to be playing slot if they in certain formations, because they'll put Pierre on the outside and let Cam Sutton play the slot. So you want to draft another slot, Asante Samuel, when you could probably get a slot fourth, fifth, you know what I mean, sixth. I mean, people forget Mike Hilton was undrafted. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, I think we are forgetting about Pierre, and we can't. The interesting thing, the Steelers have shown a lot of willingness to give. I don't even want to say willingness because you got to earn it, but for lack of a better term, they've shown a lot of willingness, man, to allow these undrafted guys or, these, I call them walk-ons, which they, UDFAs or what have you, to potentially make the team. Mike Hilton, think about that. We drafted Sinquez Golson, who was supposed to be Mike Hilton. And here comes Mike Hilton, undrafted, UDFA. And look at him now. I know he signed with the division, but I'm saying the dude played his butt off for us. The year when we had, what was the kid, the safety, Cam Kelly. We pulling dudes out of these alternative leagues. I'm just saying, it's not impossible to think that Pierre doesn't have, Tomlin and the boys are looking at him like, look, man, you got a chance. Show up in camp and job could be yours. There you go. And Cam Sutton would more than likely be inside. So I think Kenya makes a great point, man. I mean, listen, it is not about whether we think Samuel is a dog and all that. I like him. That's my squad, even though we ain't winning so much now. He's scrappy. I love the way he played. But I don't know if you draft him that early, man. You got to look at it from projections and perspective. What else do you need? What's a higher value on a draft board? If you were doing your own board, if all of us was doing a big board and you list 100 players, where is he at? So it's a tough one. Very tough one. Shout outs really quick, man. Somebody did a donation. I told you guys, man, when I'm using this format, I don't get the chime, but I think I missed it. I think his name was Q. Appreciate the donation very, very much. And he said shout outs to us for putting him on to Zaven Collins. And he said he loves what he what he saw on his film. So that's all Kenyon, man, because I totally forgot about him until Kenyon started talking about him. And yeah. Another thing I want to mention to Kenyon, because I will do it as well. And if you guys want to do it, shout outs to Sade. She has sent me an email. She said, please, if you can, take a look at Jared Patterson. I believe he's from the MAC. She says, I believe that's his name. If we can't get to one of the top 3 players, she believes that he may be a sleeper. So I want to take a look at him because I'm not familiar with him. So again, this is the reason why we're going to have the ladies of the Steel Table next week. These women know what they're talking about. So this is going to be great. And let me say that again, too, before we get off. I'll say it at the end of the show, but this will be the second time. Right now, Sade, Lanisha, Destiny, and Debbie. The date is set for next week, the 20th. If anyone else is to hear this, you want to be a part of it, send me an email. Do it as fast as you can, and I will send it to them. Odessa, I think you mentioned it. If you hear this tonight or if you see this later, I think you mentioned you wanted to be a part of it as well. Please shoot me your email because the lovely ladies have been communicating themselves. I shared all of their emails with each other, so you guys want to definitely talk to them, and I'm going to let y'all lead the show. Y'all might come on next week and say, all right, these are our topics that I'll do just like this. Sit back. Let y'all do your thing. That's what I want to promote. So again, if you are a female listener, you're not shy. You don't have to show your face. I'm going to leave that to you all. Listen, y'all are women. I know y'all are sensitive about, y'all might be like, Sim, it's 7:00 at night. I ain't in no position. No problem. I know how y'all are. Hey, guys are like that. Sometimes we get on, do a video or whatever, rush the bit, so I understand. You don't have to show your face, but if you want to, feel free. Some people like to put a face to a name. So, but anyway, that's going to be the format. I can't wait, man. I think that's going to be an outstanding show. So there you have it. Let's see what else we got, Kenyon. Jadavion Clowney, man.
Yeah.
How you feeling about that? Not just his signing, but do you think it makes their pass rush a little more potent, obviously, with having Myles Garrett on the other side. Is this somebody that, for lack of a better term, should we fear the Davion Clowney now being paired with Garrett when we play them twice a year, knowing right now that we don't really know who the left tackle is? I know, we all know that Banner Tomlin has basically said, you're my guy. And at this point, he must have meant left tackle because, which I don't know how good I feel about that in this regard. And we'll come back to him. That means that Okorafor is still going to be the right tackle.
Which is why tackle is a priority draft.
Yeah, brother.
Because any way you look at it, it's either left tackle or right tackle. It's tackle. If they and always remember the Steelers value versatility. One thing me and Sim always talk about. There's another person that people will forget and not think about who the Steelers could draft, which is Elijah Vera Tucker, who I know they love because they've already said it. And if he dropped to 24, they would pick him because he can play guard and tackle. He can do both. So, and he's better than Okorafor coming in. He's better than Zach Banner right now, and he wouldn't have any problem transitioning into that position. But using what you just said, I would just say Jadeveon Clowney to Cleveland. Yes, we should have. Yes, that's a yes and yes answer. Yes, he makes them better. He makes them more lethal because now they have two guys. And for all of Jadeveon Clowney's, to me, really kind of not reaching his potential from what we saw like in high school when he was such a phenom. You just thought, they were calling him the next Lawrence Taylor, the next Bruce Smith. You remember how people were comparing him to people like that, and he's never really lived up to it. But he is disruptive if you watch him in the game. And with him and Myles Garrett would disrupt a lot of stuff. And I mean, you're talking about having to have a running game now. Like, look, Cleveland is all in, people.
Yeah,
they're like, yo, we're trying to go to the Super Bowl. We're trying to make that real move. And I think, Cleveland, I'll never fear Cleveland, but now you have to look at them like, you're going to have to deal with them. They're in our way. And
they only come up, man.
They have a lot of confidence in themselves. And I think they have the pieces to do a lot of damage. And Jadeveon does help them. Even if it's a one-year thing, he does help them. And, on paper, it looks great. But, we shall see. But I like the sign.
Yeah, I think that's a good move, man. It's almost similar to, I always try to compare everything to what we do.
Right.
It's almost the TJ and Bud effect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Clowney hasn't really shown that he's that natural pass rusher, but the threat is there. He can get the edge. He can get his power going, kind of like what Bud used to do, while TJ over there was the real pass rusher, and that's going to be your Garrett. So it definitely helps. It definitely helped. Now, speaking of a Banner, might as well come back to that. Do you think when the Steelers drafted him, since you're more familiar with him and you've seen him play on the left side in college, do you think they did one of their usual drafts in terms of offensive lineman? We want a guy that can play both sides. He's probably not going to be a left tackle now, but do you think that all this time they had that in mind, that eventually he would end up being a left tackle, even though we've only seen him pretty much for us at right? But, it's because Villanueva was there.
Right. Well, you have to remember he was drafted by the Colts. So
that's right.
He wasn't originally drafted by Pittsburgh. The Colts released him. He made a balloon to like 400 pounds. While he was at USC, he played at 410 pounds, give or take. There's a video actually when he was in college where the USC football team players were stuck in an elevator in LA. They were stuck in this elevator, all in the elevator, and the elevator couldn't move because of the weight of the players. And the funny thing about the elevator is that it was really Banner was 400 plus, and he was really the one helping weigh down the elevator, which is just so hilarious. And it was all a joke and all that stuff. But I think once he got cut, I think it goes to evaluation and scouting. they knew who he was, and they scouted him, and they probably scouted him as like, okay, he could play left. He played left tackle and right tackle for USC. Primarily played left tackle for USC, I would say, the last 2 years. And coming into the NFL, I think the coach drafted him as a left tackle, but he kind of didn't work out there. Similar to, I guess you could say, Dwayne Haskins got a second chance with Pittsburgh. He was almost going to be out the league. Got his weight down, and he started to play well. He always had the potential. He was a 5-star player coming out of high school, out of Washington. I don't know if people know this. His biological father is Lincoln Kennedy. Back in the day, he played for Washington, played for the Raiders. That's his biological father. And, he had all the potential. But I think this second chance has helped Zach. And you have to understand something. I root for Zach. Sim will tell you in a second. I root for all USC players to succeed, but I'm objective. I have to be honest. I can't do the have loyalty. I have loyalty to Pittsburgh. I don't have loyalty to, just because he went to USC. And
right.
So I think it's one of those things where if he works out, it's great. But I still think you have to draft a tackle in this draft. I think you just have to do it just for depth purposes. Even though the people that they've signed is for depth, if they find somebody that they feel that can be the next left tackle or the next right tackle, because of course, I think this is his last year. I think this might be it. So he might be a free agent after this year. So if he's a free agent, you have to draft that position anyway. And this draft is really big in depth at tackle. And it's not the first 3 tackles. It's sometimes it's people you don't think about. Raduns could fall. There's Sam Cosmi from Texas. There's so many that Colbert has said this. As me and Sim always tell you, always listen to what Colbert tells you. He gives you the blueprint of what they will do and what's strong and what's not. And Colbert's always correct. He's never wrong. He just lays out the blueprint. People just don't want to listen to him, but they kind of give you the blueprint of what's going on. So look, I'm excited for Zach. He gets a shot. He got hurt. He gets a shot. We'll see what he's about. He beat out Okorafor last year for the right tackle. So now he gets a chance to play left tackle. And don't rule out the possibility that that Lil Billy could come back and add depth if they want to do that, or just have, I just think tackle, I think offensive line is a priority this year because of the system that Canada is implementing on Pittsburgh. And I think he may want veterans there, but I think he wants rookies for depth to grow the offensive line. So I'm excited for Zach. I'm having positive thoughts for Zach. Look, I know you guys know I always call people by their number. Once they gone, I don't have no problem with it. Example would be like, look, Bud Dupree is gone. Y'all heard me say Bud. I ain't said Bud in 2 years.
What?
So that's telling you right there. Bookmark that. I said Bud Dupree. I wish him well. He don't play for us no more, so I don't care. So it's it should be interesting. It's going to be interesting, and I'm positive with these players, and that's all I can be. I only get negative if I don't see any growth. That's it. But I guess somebody would tell you we have to wait and see what's at. That's all. We have to wait and see what's at.
Yeah. And I'm not down on him. It's just that, you look at the roster and you be like, dang, well, you kind of look at these guys as he was a backup, and we'll see. Listen, you don't know until you play these guys.
Yep.
So we'll see. And then, like I always say, we got to wish that they do well. Man, I'm looking over here in the comments, man. I just y'all are killing my man, Andre Romero. They were saying, somebody said, let's see if we can trade you to another fan base. But I did see one thing that he mentioned here, and I'm going to have to disagree with you. And shout outs to my man, Steel City Film Room. And I love his reaction. He said, Andre said we should trade Deontay Johnson.
What?
Here's 2 reasons why you don't do that. The most obvious one is he's very cheap right now. Why are you trading away a guy who can be a potential stud if he catches the ball a little more? Why would you do that on this cheap contract?
Right.
But here's the main reason why you don't do that. You ready for this, Andre? Deontay Johnson is the best route runner that we have. Deontay Johnson is probably at this moment the only guy that has shown. I won't go as far as saying that he's the only number one, because I think maybe you can get Claypool to that. But y'all know, especially in the Steelers, way our offense used to run it, and many offenses. Usually your X receiver is usually your number one guy. That's the guy that's gonna get out. He's gonna be out there. He's gonna get the best corner. He's gonna be on the island. With Deontay Johnson is the only guy right now that can typically always work his way open. He beats the press, whether it's, won't say strength, but he can do it with his movement,
right?
His shiftiness,
his feet.
Juju, I think Juju can also get to his shot if we want to use the basketball analogy, but he ain't Deontay in terms of that twitchiness and the route running. So yeah, you just can't. You're not gonna do that. I don't see why you would ever do that. Odessa, I'm glad you're here. Hello to you, and hello to all the lovely ladies, man. Because when I said the hellos earlier, you all weren't in the chat. So I want to remind you, Odessa, if you did already, please forgive me. I didn't see it, but make sure you send me an email if you can, since you're on the computer. If you want to even do it now, SimFBallCritic@gmail.com. So far tonight, well, as of tonight, we have Debbie, Lanisha, Sade, and Destiny, who will all be a part of next week's show for the ladies. And I know you mentioned that you wanted to be a part of it as well in one of the chats. So if you can make it next week, the 20th, it will be on Tuesday, of course. Let me know, but shoot me that email so I can, put all of you in an email chain together so y'all can chop it up and be ready to go. Other than that, man, let's see what else we got real quick. There's outside linebacker, and I got this from Steelers Depot, so shout outs to them. Does outside linebacker become more of an attractive pick for the Steelers, or is it more in play now, seeing that they've kind of gone with a security blanket somewhat at inside linebacker? So if you take one of these guys early, do we need to pay a little more attention to edge rushers?
Yes, and I think that you and I, in a sense, have to split up these guys. I think I'm gonna really start digging into Jalen out of Miami, who went to UCLA, transferred to Miami, and then Greg Rousseau, even though he had a bad pro day. But the problem is that there's not a lot of depth at this outside linebacker class. This pass rushing class isn't great. So, it's almost like you almost have to look and find people, which is, I think that's the tricky part. I think they will. I think they love Alex Highsmith, and I think people keep trying to draft the next guy, and the next guy is already there. They drafted him last year. They love Alex Highsmith. I tried to tell you this last draft that he's coming into the draft. He has more pass rush moves than Bud Dupree had at the same time. You can't give excuses for one player. If one player goes 16, the other guy goes in the second round, but the other guy comes in with more pass rush moves. Only thing about Alex Highsmith, he just has to get stronger. Once he gets stronger, that's it. He has to, one of Bud's strengths where he was great against the run. He was able to stuff the run. He was able to hold the edge, similar to James Harrison. But Alex Highsmith, as far as pass rush moves, he was light years ahead because he already had the spin walking into the NFL. He already had that. And that ghost move that he has, Bud never showed you that. There was no game that you ever saw Bud do a ghost move like that. And Alex Highsmith was already doing it. So Alex Highsmith is the next guy. I think they'll draft somebody for depth. They've signed people, but I think they'll draft somebody else for depth and to be the third guy. The third guy. They lost Ola. I hate that they re-signed Marsh, but it is what it is. It is what it is. But I think they'll draft somebody and to add depth. But I'm gonna start looking at certain guys. There's certain guys I have watched. That's the thing about somebody like Zaven Collins. We like to mention Zaven Collins can do both. Zaven Collins is like Lawrence Timmons back in the day, where Lawrence Timmons played outside and inside for Pittsburgh. I don't know if people remember that when Mike Tomlin drafted him. He played inside and out. He could rush and he could, do both. And actually, Vince Williams could do both, which is kind of weird, ironic. But yeah, I think they'll find somebody. I'll try to watch a couple of guys. I just think there's not a lot of depth in this draft. This year's pass rushing crop won't be like next year's pass rushing crop. Next year's 2022's pass rushing crop. Oh, it's I mean, it's 4 rounds deep. It's 4 or 5 rounds deep. I'm just telling you right now, and I look ahead. As I always tell you, I play chess. I don't play checkers. I always look ahead at the next guy. Even got Sim doing that now. So it's just funny. And Alabama. Remember the offensive line of Alabama? He's
oh man, yeah.
There you go. So and you know how I feel about 2022 preview. Drake London, USC 6'5" wide receiver. Sim knows who he is. He watched the game, was texting me and said they cannot cover him. He is a beast. He is the next. That's the best way I can put it to you guys. He is the next. Please keep an eye on Drake London. Sim knows who he is. I don't have to tell him. He's a monster. So, it's just we always do that. But, yeah, I would say they would look at pass rushers.
Yeah, man, it's interesting. And shout outs to Steel City Film. I took a picture of it, so I remember to look at it. He says for us to go watch Ronnie Perkins versus Oklahoma State and Tevin Jenkins. So those are 2 names that now I have them in the phone, so I'll take a look at those guys. The running back that who was it again? Sade told us to watch.
Yeah.
So
I saw Ronnie. I've seen Ronnie Perkins.
Okay.
I like Ronnie Perkins. Maybe mid to late rounds. If he was kind of like there in the 3rd or 4th, I would consider it. If we didn't, we have so many needs this year. This is really a need draft, which is kind of interesting. It's kind of a need draft, and we have so many that but I like Ronnie Perkins. I like him. I won't say that I love him. I like him, and that's the best way I can put it.
Yeah, we got a lot of holes in this draft, man.
Yeah, and then we're also forgetting about the kid out of Georgia who's a pass rushing guy that Pittsburgh really loves, Azari. Remember, they love him. So he's an option. There's the kid out of Penn State that ran the 4.3 that had no sacks last year, but look, he's a physical specimen. 6'5", 240, running a 4.3. Come on, man. Playing outside is they may like him. I just think that they won't attack that in the first 3 rounds, but they might. You never know if the value is there. So, thanks for the. Yeah, I'll look at more Ronnie Perkins, look at a little bit more Tevin Jenkins, but I just don't think it's a deep class this year. It's not deep.
What round you think old boy go in? I forget his name now, man. I'm looking at the understudy. And N'Kobe Dean. What's the other dude's name? You know what I'm talking about. Number 32 for Georgia.
Number 32 for Georgia.
The linebacker. Inside
we were just talking about him. What's his name?
Talking about him.
What's his name, man?
I can't remember, man.
Can't remember
and it's
name.
Funny because when I was telling you, I said, yo, number 17, the dude Dean is cool too. And you was like, yeah, but he's a sophomore.
Right.
What's this dude's name? I was watching him all weekend.
Yeah, you were. I can't think. I'm trying to remember who it was.
I'm looking at the chat.
Monty Rice.
Monty Rice.
Yeah.
Always around the football.
Yeah.
And he's not the freakish Collins or Shazier type, but this dude is a steady. Sometimes that's what you need.
Yeah.
It's steady. The inside linebacker. You know what I mean? Your Farrier type of dude.
Yeah. I think he'll go. Here's the thing about the inside linebackers, because I always equate it to us. We have Devin Bush. So the other linebacker has to be essentially the opposite of Devin Bush.
Yeah.
So if Devin Bush is your quote unquote field general thumper, can cover a little bit. I wouldn't say he's not great in coverage yet. He's just good. You have to have somebody that's the opposite of that. And to me, so I wouldn't draft Monty Rice to Pittsburgh because I don't know if he can do.
Yeah, I don't know if he can do the others.
Yeah, do the other stuff that we need him to do. But I will agree with you. He is always around the ball. I like him, just like the kid out of Ohio State, number 5. I'm talking about that played inside linebacker. Thing about him is he was off the field. He's not like an every down guy.
Yeah, man, I couldn't get no read on him.
Yeah, so when you're not an every down guy, it's hard for me to look at you like, and I know Mike Tomlin was talking to him at the pro day and was saying he really likes his game. And I'm like, did you draft somebody like that? It's like when you don't play on the field that much and you situational, that says a lot about you. So You know, like, you know, Nick Bolton is similar to Bush. So it's kind of like, I don't know if you would draft somebody like that. I don't know if you want two of the same. I think you want the opposite. I think I agree with you. Like somebody like Surratt out of North Carolina. Because he's the opposite of Bush, and he just covers, and that's what you kind of want. You know what I mean? So, you know, yeah, it's an interesting thing. But I'll agree with you. I like Monty Rice. His understudy value is maybe.
I like Dean, man.
Yeah, his value is better. But I would agree with you. I think Monty Rice, he's always around the ball, but they have so many studs on that Georgia defense.
Man, that front line is nasty too.
The front line, the cornerbacks, the safeties are good. You know, they just have it's a pro team, man. It's like watching a pro team. They have so many studs that it's hard to, you know, pick out one. And like you said, you almost have to focus. Like I had to focus on Stokes. Because if I don't, I'm gonna start looking at Monty Rice, looking at, you know what I mean, other cats, which I always do. What about the running back that Sim loves? That's for sophomore. That dude is. They have like
Zamir Nice, man. I like him.
Both the running backs, the freshmen.
Yeah.
It's like I'm like, yo, it's a factory, man, and it's kind of like. So I agree with you. I think you just have to. I think Monty Rice could go maybe in the 3rd to 5th round. To me, from what I've seen, maybe 3rd to 5th. But for the Steelers, but I want him, not really, because I don't think he does. I don't think he does what we actually need. You know. So and Bush is coming off that surgery, so I really just want somebody that can, you know, if we're drafting speed and that's what Pittsburgh covets, got to get speed at linebacker, and you know, and that can cover. And that's why I mentioned Jamin and Xavier. Because those guys do the exact opposite of what Bush does. So, and you can play them in nickel with no problem. So that's how I look at it.
I know one thing. We're going to need all 8 of these picks, man.
All of them.
Every last one of them.
All of them.
So real quick, guys, we did a great job tonight. Like I said, man, I don't want to spend the last 2 minutes complaining or nothing, but I'll just say this to you guys. Work has been crazy for me this whole month. Had another late night tonight, but yesterday had technical difficulties, so that's why we pushed it to tonight. But long story short, I can't give more than an hour tonight. I'm on fumes, man. And sometimes you just got to decompress, man. I got to have my family time when I'm chilling and, you know, before I got to get back up and go to work. But the last thing I will end with, and me and Kenya will stay in here maybe a few minutes, like maybe a minute or two after the alarm goes off to just look at a few chats. But again, ladies' night next week. Ladies of Steeler Nation. So far, I believe we have 5 now. Odessa, Lanisha, Debbie, Sade, and Destiny. And I think that is going to be a phenomenal show. So as soon as Odessa sends me the email tonight, I'm going to send all 5 of you an email just saying, hey, well, let's lock this in. And again, the lady that Antoine mentioned, if y'all want to bring her in, y'all just let me know. I will be honest and open and fair here. Maybe y'all not ready to introduce somebody else that ain't been rocking in the chat. I don't know. Just be honest. But if y'all cool with that, I'll be more than happy to share her email address with you all as well. Her name is Andrea, a.k.a. D. And we can do it like that. You know, no feelings involved. Because if you ladies kind of say, well, let's see how this – we kind of know each other. Let's see how we rock first. I understand that. Right. So I don't want to just assume, you know what I mean? Because I know that's how we would do. How the fellas would be like, well, let's let us do our thing. And then, you know, but y'all tell me. But yeah, let's spend a couple minutes in here. She said the email has been sent.
I know what I forgot. I know we forgot to talk about the tight end that people should really be thinking about for Pittsburgh. Tommy Tremble.
Oh, yeah. You was talking about him, yeah.
I had Pat Freiermuth for my second tight end. I don't have him second no more. I like Pat Freiermuth. But Tommy Tremble, if you want a blocking, looking for pancakes type tight end, Tommy Tremble. It doesn't matter who they play. He gets 2 pancakes a game. And he was underused at Notre Dame because they have 3 stud tight ends. So he was underused. And I know for a fact Colbert and Tomlin love him because they talked to him. They had pictures with him. And he had a meeting with him. He had 2 meetings with him when Pittsburgh went to when they went to Notre Dame Pro Day. So Tommy Tremble, out of Notre Dame. Please keep an eye on him. And yes, I may have to pull that trigger in the second round if I can't get him in the third. I'm just saying. Watch Tommy Tremble. 6'5", 240.
Yeah, that's my homework right there because I haven't watched many tight ends. So, all right, guys, I think we're going to roll. I told y'all a little fib. I said we was going to sit around for a minute, but, by the time you do that, I'll be here 10 more minutes.
Okay.
But I will say this. Odessa just hit me up. So, lovely ladies, y'all, look out tonight. I'm not going to forget. I'll probably do it when I get upstairs. I'm going to send a group email. So, all 5 of y'all have it. And then, like I said, I want y'all to own it. If you want to own it, don't let me just tell y'all what to say. If y'all want to come to the show saying we got our topics, I'm simply just going to be a moderator. If not, then I'll just throw some few topics out there at you all and let y'all talk. So I think it'll be fun. But anyway, guys, we're going to get up out of here. Thank you, Lanisha. She says, happy birthday, Sim. My birthday is tomorrow. Kenyon's was yesterday, so we doing what we. Oh, I will say this because I share everything with you all. And Kenyon probably don't even know this. Well, he might. I can't remember if I mentioned it in the chat. I've been talked into the vaccine, man. I've been talked into doing it, man. Let me just say this really quick. Traditionally, I don't really do vaccines like that. I won't go down the rabbit hole, but I've never had a flu shot. I did have the flu one time. I had the flu right before the weekend of the Colts and Bears Super Bowl. I'll never forget it. But other than that, just never taken one. My only reservation for the vaccine, man, is I just feel like, it was rushed. But I'll put it in perspective for y'all. One thing that sold me, come to find out my older brother and his wife got it, right? Leonard, who's probably listening here tonight, father-in-law Leonard, he got the vaccine. My wife got her vaccine last week. Who else? My father, fully vaccinated. And then my wife played dirty, man. She hit me with the low blow. She said, "What you think your mom would tell you to get it?" Come on. Most of y'all already know that situation. And that was the one that did it. I was like, so I'm getting it. My appointment is on Friday at 10:30. So by the next time y'all see me, well, hopefully y'all see me. No, let me stop playing. And Leonard was fine. My wife is none of them have had any side effects whatsoever. My brother-in-law said his arm wasn't even sore. And I'm getting Pfizer, in case you guys want to know. Most people I know who've gotten the Moderna vaccine has been sick. Her cousin's wife was tore down after his second shot. Seems like for whatever reason, Pfizer ain't giving you. Is
that Johnson & Johnson? Or because Johnson & Johnson was the one that had the blood clots, where people got blood clots.
Yeah, they pulling that one.
Right,
no, this one was Moderna.
Okay.
Yeah, he was. And most people that I know who've gotten that one have said, yeah, man, that second one I won't feeling right. But so far, seems like Pfizer is cool. Eric says he's getting his second shot tomorrow. Yeah, you're right, Lanisha. That did it. Oh, she said I got my second shot on too. See? But again, Kenya knows how I feel. My brother Tony knows. I'm not gonna go down that road because I don't want to. I don't want to start all that. I don't. Let's put it in this perspective. For those who've chosen to get it, I don't think it's wrong. For those who've chosen not to get it, I don't think it's wrong either. Because there's, but what does make me feel a little better about it is now I know enough people that's close to me who have gotten it, and I haven't seen any type of adverse action or effects from it. And like I said, man, when your whole family pretty much is vaccinated, y'all already know the situation with Mom Dukes, which is gonna be a tough day for me tomorrow because that's usually the first call I get for my birthday. But that was a low blow. Y'all women, y'all dirty, man. She tried to sneak it on me on her appointment, right? When we went up there, she was like, "You got any extra?" Because quick story. That's kind of how Leonard got his. You know, the pharmacy that we have here, they say, well, listen, a lot of times people don't come and, you know, we have extras.
Right.
We'll
Right.
call you.
Right.
They called them. So we get up there and my wife going to ask the lady. And here's the thing. They closed at 8 o'clock. She had her appointment set for 7:45. So I already knew it was a setup. And she wanted me to go with her.
Mm-hmm.
Lady said, wow, this like one of the only nights we don't have any extras. So I almost got last week, but yeah, I decided I'm gonna go ahead and get it done, man. And Friday will be my day. So there you go.
Yeah, my mother's going to get one, and she was trying to convince me. So I'm probably gonna go with her because I know they say you have to have somebody with you. So I'll probably go with her, and then see how she's doing, and then but I know I'm gonna get one. It's just, you know, I'm gonna get one. I know I am.
Oh,
so I'm not. Even
I know. You just like me, bro. I'm telling you, I know exactly what you're thinking. I know the reservation. I know. I was like, nah, I get it when I need it. But whatever, man. So there you have it. What else? Look at all these people say they're getting their shots. Just got my first shot this morning. All right. Yeah, it's real out here, man.
Yeah.
It's real out here. And it's sad, man, because I'm looking around and it looks like it's ticking back up.
Yeah.
You know, even with the vaccine, and it's like, come on, man. So I don't know. But that's the little medical news for you guys tonight. But outside of that, man, appreciate y'all coming through. So hope you enjoyed tonight because we're gonna be right back at it. Not next week. That's ladies' night, but the week after that, right before the draft, we'll do a quick steel table. And then the night of the draft, we'll do a steel table draft edition. So there you have it. So for you guys that love when we do the combination talks, y'all got 2 straight weeks coming for you. So there you go. But all right, man, let me get out of here. Hope everybody has a great night. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, cut on your notifications, hit the like button. Be safe, be blessed, be well. And we see you guys next week. And make sure, I better have the same level of participation next week for ladies' night. Don't front on the ladies. All right, man. Catch y'all later. Peace.